rosy as a lot of you think it is. That is why you need to have a plan. And you need to tell yourself the truth. Stop listening to people who tell you, look, I can only speak for the United Kingdom, okay? I can't speak for America or Germany or any other European or Ireland because I've never lived there. My own Japa was Japa from Nigeria to UK. You need to have a plan. If you are Japaing as a family, or you have a relationship already, that's why we want to mix the Japaing plan with your relationship. You need to have a plan so that you don't suffer so much. So that you do not suffer so much. You will, you will suffer a little bit. Not suffer, I don't want to use the word suffer, but things will be a bit uncomfortable for some years. It is normal. It is normal. It is not abnormal. The only set of people who find it easy when they Japa are people who, say for example, you are a child and your parents are already here. Those ones come with a soft landing. Even it's not easy, they still struggle because it's the weather alone. You are coming from a very hot climate into a cold climate. The weather change alone. I remember when I first Japa, I used to just come visit, It's different though. If you know you are a visitor, you were a visitor before you decided to Japa, it's different. As a visitor, you can choose the time, the season you want to travel. I don't want to travel in winter, I want to come summer, I want to come autumn, I want to come spring. You have the choice as a visitor to pick when you want to travel. But Japaing and residing in a Western community is different. So you need to be prepared. It's not as easy as you think. It is cold. Especially when you're going to some extremely cold climate, like you're going to Canada. The meeting of going to Glasgow, anytime I went to Canada 2021, I struggled. And people say Glasgow is cold, but Jesus, Canada, you can't compare Glasgow to Canada. Unfortunately, I can't. I thank God that my own Japaing was not to Canada. I don't know how Canadians, Nigerians in Canada, or people, Africans or people who relocate there, I don't know how they do it. So you need to understand that it's going to be difficult. The weather is difficult. You cannot compare. You are moving your body, everything about you from a hot climate to, you understand, to a cold climate. So bear that in mind and be prepared. And the weather changes. Even if you read about it, reading about it is not as much as experiencing it. Do you understand? The law of the land you are coming into. Look, we all know that the law in Nigeria is not very firm. There are ways to beat, there are so many ways. There are ways to beat the law everywhere you live. But Nigeria is too porous. We get away with a lot of things. You cannot bring that mentality into a Western country. You need to understand the law of the land you are coming into before you come. You need to understand the financial responsibilities. Ìlú Òyìnbó is not cheap. In fact, in fairness, Nigeria is cheaper. Adija, Nigeria is cheaper. Sincerely to God Almighty, as difficult as Nigeria is to live, Nigeria is a bit cheaper to live as a starter when you're starting off. When you're starting off, I mean when you're starting off, you've just come into a Western country, it's expensive for you. But once you've settled, You have a job now, you know how to plan your finance, you know how to do top up, how to manage your electricity bill. There are ways, and you can tap into. The good thing about every Western world is they have systems in place for support you can tap into. Yes. They have ways, they have system. That is a good thing about the Western country. Anywhere you go, be it America, be it UK, be it Canada, be it Australia, be it Germany, they have a system of support. That is what Nigeria does not have. Nigeria does not have a support system, but they have a system of support. They have a system of support. The only thing is, one thing about I've noticed about Ilu Oyinbo is, if you do not ask, you don't know. If you don't open your mouth to ask, then sometimes asking is not asking from your fellow African brothers and sisters, because a lot of us do not even know the law. We don't know the support. I'm sure your country would have, like in the United Kingdom now, they have the Citizens Advice Bureau, we have the council, you can just walk into and ask. They will not say because you have asked, chastise you. It's not a crime to open your mouth and ask. You seek, or you can Google it. If you are having a food problem, you don't have food in the house, there are charity organizations who help out with feeding. You just need to open your mouth and ask. You understand? Now, if you already have, look, it's relationship in Nigeria. You have a boyfriend, you have a fiancé, you have a fiancé, you have a husband or a wife, and you want to japa. Think about it first. This is my own advice. Especially if one of you or the two of you already have good paying jobs. I was reading something over the week, or last week, on Instagram, I think, of somebody discouraging people about jackpotting, and the person started to analyze that if you are making 500,000 or 2 million or something in Nigeria, why do you need to japa? If you want to japa, you can japa. Because what the person does not realize is, the higher your income, even in Nigeria, the higher your expenses. Somebody making 2 million naira a month, you don't put your children in cheap schools. The higher your income, the higher your class. You want to live on a particular class and level. And the higher your class, the more expensive it is for you in Nigeria. There are some schools that your children will not just go to because of your lifestyle and your income. You want them to go to some particular schools that are expensive. So you cannot compare. Because schools, most schools in the Western community, they are free. They are free. So if you're earning 2 million naira every month in Nigeria, you cannot be living in a gangbadi. If you do not have your own house yet, you can't be living in a gangbadi. You want to live in a particular environment, and living in that environment will cost you money. You can't be sending your children to Gbilekpawo primary and secondary school. You're looking at top high-end schools. So it comes back to affect your income. It tells on your income. If you're earning 2 million naira at your place of work, that you don't have mago that you are doing, you don't have extra curriculum activity, or you know how to run your run in that organization, you can't build all those big houses you are building. It's a lie. In Nigeria, it's a lie. You are doing side, you have a side also. Is it that your side also is criminally inclined, meaning that your boss at work must not know? And should you be sure you are a banker, but you are earning good money, but your own level of lifestyle is over the top. You are doing it. You are doing deals with your bosses at work, and your basic salary, everything salary is 2 million, but you are living mega well. After paying all these school fees, after paying all these lifestyle, you are doing deal at work. Look, I will still come back again. I would have a chat on grass, all those grass to grace story. Can show tough from our this platform. Let's try and be truthful with ourselves. So when people come and discourage people, you are making 2 million, so why do you want to Japa? You are making 2 million, 2 million. It's good. It's a good income. It's a good income. But you are doing extracurriculum activity. If you do not want to, that's why you are living very large. It's not, you are not living on your 2 million naira salary. No, that's not what you are living on. You have a side also. I'm not against it. It's your choice. If you know how to run your own, run your own. A good example is, my career now, acting. If you're in the industry, the same industry, I can only speak for the Yoruba industry. I can't speak for the English section of the industry. I don't know anything about their money, their pay, how much they are paid, how much money they earn. I don't know anything about it, so I can't speak about that. But I can speak for the industry I've been in over 20-something years. We all know how much we are paid. We all know. We all abubu alamo. I know how much this person earns. They will know how much I earn. We all know. Okay? Whether you do cinema fame, you do cinema, we all know. If your lifestyle is above the normal level that it should be, you have side hustle. You have side hustle. Your side hustle is either your side hustle is clean, or your side hustle get as a B, or your side hustle is, you have your side hustle. And I'm not discouraging, or I'm not chastising anybody that has a side hustle. That's your private life. That's your business. But don't use that because you now have your own side also. Even all these endorsement deals. Or endorsement, you have a side also. And your side also is either not clean. You are doing something. We don't need to know. You don't hold it. I don't hold. If I have a side hustle, I don't hold it to you people to come and tell you what my side hustle is. I will only tell you. I hold it to you to tell you that I do film and I make a lot of money. Chikena. I don't hold it to you to come and explain to you. Except EFCC. I've been kokon gbe me. I want any more explanation. So when people are discouraging you from Japa, don't mind them. But you need to have a plan, a good plan. You need to plan yourself. For example, like I was saying, if you're a couple of husband and wife and children, and you want to effect your Japa plan, and the husband, you have a good job. You have a good job, as a good job. Okay, let's use our 2 million naira as example. You already have your own house you've built. You earn 2 million naira and all these things. You can plan in such a way that your wife and your... Look, I encourage Japa family, if you want to Japa, and you want to follow this, my plan, I encourage the party staying behind. Say, for example, the wife and the children can come first to settle in that country. If you do not want to really, really suffer. God bless you, everybody on TikTok and Facebook. The wife and the children can come first. But if you are making that route, you are following that route or that route, My advice is make sure that you, the husband that you are staying behind, you already have existing visiting visa to that country, so that you can go in and out, you can see your family at will. I'm still talking about people who are married, couples first, couples. Now, somebody has just said for couples who don't have kids, it's the same thing. For couples who don't have children already, and the husband or the wife is making more money, whichever party is making the most money in Nigeria, so that you don't suffer. So that you don't suffer. I would advise, make sure you have an existing visiting visa to that country. Not that you are still processing visa. No. Process your own visiting visa first. Make sure that you have that visa in hand before the other party now effect the Japa plan. Set it in motion. You understand? That is for couples who one of them has got a wonderful job in Nigeria. I will not advise the two of you to pack your bag, sell your house, sell your car, sell everything, sell your businesses, sell and Japa. No, don't do it like that. Don't do it like that. That's my own advice, so don't do it like that. I would advise, don't sell your house, sell your car, sell cheap. No, don't do that. Yet. Don't do that. Let the party making the most money stay behind in Nigeria. But before that, make sure you have an existing visa. Process your own visa first. If they refuse you, don't effect Japa plan. Make sure that you have your own existing visa first. Then put your Japa plan for your partner in motion. Then let your partner, so that when your partner is coming into that country, at least minimum have a 3-month plan. Wọ́n sanwó lé lẹ́ǹbí ọdún kan. Wọ́n sanwó lé ọdún kan o. Wọ́n sanwó ọdún kan. Kò dàbí Nàìjíríà tó pé because tó wọlé bá ti kúrò, it's a huge weight off your shoulders. In Western country, you pay monthly. And it's not cheap. Accommodation is not cheap. Accommodation is one of your accommodation palava kúrò. Japa is easy. Accommodation is one of the toughest bills in this country.